What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to Be the Fish, and on today's episode we're going to show you why you need to be throwing the Damiki Rig. Whatever that is, it's big. Yeah, another big one. I watched the thing chase it down and eat it. That's a good fish. So I'm going to show you guys some fish clips of me catching some dang big ones on the Damiki Rig, showing you what the cover is that I'm catching them off of, the technology that I'm using, and how I'm fishing this. Now, I am no professional, I'm no expert, but somebody that is actually, his name's Jeff Gustafson, who we had on the Serious Angler podcast that my buddy Andy and I are the hosts of. I will link that right here if you guys want to go check that episode out. I highly encourage you to, because it's everything you need to know about Damiki rigging, whereas I'm going to show you how I caught these fish. So this is what I was fishing, okay? I'm going to put a screenshot of Mega Live up here. I don't even know what this thing is. 10 feet tall. It kind of looks like you're up like a boat hoist that was dropped somehow or slid out, or I have no idea how it got there. But essentially this thing is loaded with crappie, loaded with perch, loaded with bluegill, and it has big largemouth and smallmouth bass on it, which I'll show you guys right here. Here's a couple fish catches while I'm talking. You guys can see me hook into these fish. Like, dude, did you see the wheel?
Yeah.
Isn't that weird?
Yeah.
Oh, there's a big mark right there. That's a good one. Whatever that is. I bet you it's a big brown one. I bet you it's a big brown one, dude.
That was awesome.
Did I literally just not say? Like,
hey, look at that big one.
Marker. It's a 6-pound test. Whatever that is, it's big. Could be a walleye. It's fighting like a brown one. It's on that queen tackle sonar head. Oh, dude, big green one. Big green one. That's like a 4.5 at least. Dude. God bless forward-facing sonar. What are you doing in 30 foot of water?
That was pity.
That might be a 5.
Hell yeah.
Dude, that was sick.
That's awesome.
Barely got him. Heck yeah. 19. Thank you, Sally. Oh God, something just went down this thing. Yeah, another big one. I watched the thing chase it down and eat it.
That's pity.
I think I just realized I was hooked. Oh, big brownie, big brownie.
That's a big brownie.
It's like a 4-pounder. Dude. Yeah, it looks like a damn windmill. That other one had it barely hooked. So that other one barely had it hooked, so I don't want to mess with it too much. Ah, it's like a 3. Still fun. I'd have a hell of a bag today. I'd have a hell of a bag today. I mean, when you think about it, how many times have they seen a Damiki rig in the summer? Ain't bad. $18. See you later, mama. That's a
big one.
That's a good fish. Don't break him.
I got 8.
Dude.
He's just outside.
Oh, the GoPro just died.
Dude, there's more fish down there, like, heck yeah, dude.
And basically what I was doing is dropping this. It is a queen tackle live sonar jig head. It's tungsten, so it shows up better on forward-facing sonar. I have a Pearl Berkeley Max Scent flat nose minnow, perfect little bait imitation, and something I like being that's Max Scent won't last you a long time when you get bit because Max Scent's super soft, but it has that scent dispersion. So while this thing's hanging above these fish, it's just scent is just coming out from that bait. Something a little bit different that gives me more confidence to get bit on this Damiki rig. Essentially what I was doing is just dropping it below these fish, but the ones that were around it, kind of on top and off the sides, those were the ones that I found were a little bit more active in trying to eat this bait. And one thing I want to preface, people throw the Damiki rig when it's super cold. They think it's a late fall, early spring, winter time bait. This was the beginning of August. This was summertime, where I couldn't get these fish to bite a drop shot. I couldn't get them to bite anything else. So basically I was hanging it above them, and for anyone that ice fishes, essentially what happens, if you feel them follow it and you can see that they're on it, especially on forward facing or 2D where you can see that those fish are on your bait and they're not eating it, basically if you know ice fishing, you're slowly lifting your rod tip, kind of like with ice fishing for gills, bass, whichever, same thing. Slowly lift that Damiki rig. Don't shake it. Everyone wants to, shake their drop shot and stuff, which can work. This one, you want the less motion, the better, because you got to think about it. Look at me holding this bait. See how it's moving around on its own? Same thing in the water. And one thing to note really fast as well is line tie is crucial. So you can see this is a 90-degree line tie on that jig head, where I actually have my knot, how it's supposed to be. You can see on that knot, it is also 90 degrees. And what I did is actually put a dab of glue, a super glue on it to keep that there, because my knot wasn't keeping it in that 90 degree. I don't know if super glue is good for it, but that's something I did to keep it like that, and I had 2 good fish without retying, and it stayed fine. So for now, I'm gonna keep doing it. So raising that bait, raising it, and you could feel a subtle boom, or what that smallmouth did. Smallmouth did is it actually raised it up like a crappie. Some crappie, you hear that they upbite. What that means is basically you don't feel much of anything. Just your rod tip will be kind of bent a little bit as you're raising that bait, but if your rod tip goes like that as you're raising it, that means that fish is swimming up with your bait, and you basically just have to like cinch down real hard. Because this, you don't have to get away, you don't have to use 6-pound test. There's certain situations, obviously if they're being super finicky, that you might want to go down to a smaller test. But this is 10-pound gamma. If anybody knows, the gamma is a little bit tougher than any other leader line. So 10-pound is essentially like throwing 12 on any other line. So throwing 10-pound fluorocarbon, gamma fluorocarbon, it's this 10-pound braid, and this rod actually is a 610 medium extra fast. It's a drop shot rod. And if you guys know, I've talked in other videos, I don't like a 610 for drop shot. For drop shotting, I like a 7 medium fast. That's the same rod that I would use for this as well, but I noticed the 610, something I can give them a little bit more of the beans, pin that hook a little bit harder, and it's going to be a little bit more forgiving because it's a little bit more of a nimble rod. So there's many applications for the Damiki, but the way I was catching these fish was being on top of them. I wanted to keep on top of them and basically just hang it there. Keep this bait in their face, just kind of holding steady, maybe rising up a little bit and down just to kind of make it look like it's still active. Never getting below the fish. That was the biggest thing. So one of the things I learned from Jeff Gustafson was not to drop it all the way to the bottom. Keep that up above the fish, because if it goes to the bottom, they kind of question what the heck's going on with this. So if you keep it above them, they're going to rise up, and if they don't eat right away, just slowly rise it so that they chase it. Could be just a simple thing to trigger these fish, because after that thing's rising, it's slowly turning. Whereas I'm sure how this works, I'd love to get a camera down, but as that thing kind of spins and it looks at them, that is typically, I feel like, when they bite, because when they bite and then you hook, sometimes you get it in the bottom of their mouth, and that could be why, as they bite it here, and you set the hook, that hook's going to the bottom of the mouth. Could be other ways of doing that as well. It's a super fun technique in my mind. I love finesse fishing, but this is a way that you can get a lot of bites where nobody's really doing this. This is why you need to throw it, especially when times get tough and you know that there's fish schooled up, especially if they're on structure or cover. Like say there's a laydown or a brush pile, and you can see there's fish in it, but they won't come out. Hover this thing above it, and I think you'd be surprised to see how many fish will at least show themselves. You do not have to use this when the temperatures are cold. You don't have to use it when things are in the winter time, but when things get tough, even this summer, like I mentioned, these video clips are from the beginning of August. This is a great technique to catch fish. And it's super simple. I'll link everything down below where you can go get 10% off using code SERIES10 on your order. But also I will link the website to Queen Tackle where you can get these jig heads for 20% off using SeriousAngler20. All the discount codes and the links are down below. You can check those out. Super cool baiting technique. Hope you guys enjoyed that. I know I don't do a lot of like straight up informational content. I'm gonna plug a little bit of it as you get closer to the winter months. But hope you guys appreciate it. Really wanted to call this out. I think it was pretty cool. And if you're not already, please like this video, subscribe to the channel. We'll see you guys on the next one.